Hey there. So what's going on right now? Right now I'm doing my second part of my video, like I promised you I would, on vinegar syndrome. You guys asked me if I was going to, well, I asked you guys if you wanted to do a sequel to this one, and hopefully some of you'll show up, because I got out all the other vinegar syndrome stuff that I got. So absolutely everything. Hey Danuch, welcome. You're the first here, dude. We are on our second day of vinegar syndrome. Yesterday was the limited edition stuff, and today it's all the other stuff. So obviously, for me, you're good at that. For me, when it's the halfway to Black Friday and Black Friday months for Vinegar Syndrome, you guys know I'm so down with, hey Mark, with getting in and actually starting early on my vids so that basically we can talk a lot about the releases. So do you want to go right into it? You want to start diving into the Vinegar Syndrome stuff? So there's a ton of Blu-rays to show. Now, if there's ones that you don't have, there's ones that you're thinking about getting, feel free to ask along the way if you want me to stop, you want to ask me about a feature, to show up a little bit more. We can do that type of thing as well. But here we go. We'll start off with the 3 DVDs that I did not show last time, and then we're going to go into all the Blu-rays. The DVDs will be pretty fast, I think. And this will give you the example of like, sometimes Vinegar Syndrome will do limited editions. So there'll be certain ones, much like the 5 films, 5 years. They'll have a film that they'll have on Blu-ray, that they'll have on DVD, and they'll put a limited edition Blu-ray of it out. A good example of that, for instance, is Pretty Peaches. There is an adult film called Pretty Peaches. It's actually pretty popular among like fans of that genre. Hey, Brian. I got a whole ton to show tonight. Now, they put out a limited edition of Pretty Peaches, and it had a bunch of features on it. It was a Blu-ray. Now later on, they put out a DVD edition of it once the Blu-ray was gone, and then they put out a a Pretty Peaches trilogy, because there's 3 of them, without the features. So that's another way that the Vinegar Syndrome can go with some stuff. So they put out a small print run of this one here, Runaway Nightmare. This is one of their early limited editions. Not this one. There's a Blu-ray of this one that was an early limited edition. Now, Runaway Nightmare is a super crazy film. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you at least check it out. This is by Mike Cartel. Hey, Boredom, who did Pets. It's very different from Pets, and it's I don't know how to describe Runaway Nightmare. There's cults, gun runners, worm farmers. It's insane. But at one point, this had a Blu-ray release. That Blu-ray release can no longer be got, but you can still buy the DVD of it. And there are features on there. We got a commentary with Mark Cartel and some alternate video scenes as well. And this is a actual 4K restoration. Hey, Cat Lover, welcome, dude. I think I saw a message from you today, which I haven't had a chance to read yet because I just got home from work. So next up is actually one of the few adult ones that I really need to get and was only on DVD. Their Black Friday sale, Boredom, I think is the 28th. And it's for that whole weekend. November 28th. So I'm getting way ahead of the game here. And this one is Sex and Comics, which is again, it's an adult film, but it's a weird adult film. And as you know, I am super all about the weird, strange films. It's so. What's really cool about this one though is that, like, even if you don't like the kind of the adult stuff, like the adult like live action stuff, there are cartoons here as well. There's actually 2 bonus features. One that's called Sex Tunes, which runs 82 minutes long, and another one called The Funky World of Adult Cartoons, which runs at 45 minutes. Good idea. And it's got 2 directors. It's got Anthony Spinelli, who's a famous adult film director, and Bob Godfrey, who I don't remember that well, but I know Anthony Spinelli is. He's done a lot. Okay, last but not least, and this is the last of the adult stuff that, that you're going to see here, really. Hey, Corey, welcome back. And that is Dracula Sucks, which is actually gotta be careful, so a really good film with Jamie Gillis playing the role of the Count and doing a damn good job, actually. He There's actually two versions of the film here. There's like a softcore version of the film here, apparently called Lust at First Bite. I guess kind of, a takeoff on Love at First Bite, which was a George Hamilton film from the 80s. The acting, it is an adult film. Like, I can't get past that, but the acting is actually pretty good. And Jamie Gillis is one of those actors that I tend to go towards when it comes to this type of stuff. It's a decent one. I mean, I really like this. Cat Lover. Actually, when I was a kid, I rented this one at the store, and I didn't know it was an adult film. I don't obviously the people that were renting it because it was one of those like video stores, not a chain store, but actual one, city video stores. Rented this to me, thinking it was a vampire. It was just a vampire film. So young early teen Aaron was very intrigued and super stoked to get Dracula Sucks and realize, oh my God, that's Kay Parker from Taboo. So I knew right away because early teen Aaron, he had seen a few of those films already. All right, so we're going to go in numerical order because I think that's the best way to go for this type of stuff. And because when I put them back, it might make it a little bit easier for me. So first off is one that is now out of print. So that's what I always say. If there's something that you're really looking at for Vinegar Syndrome, like look at what the print run on them are, because some of these are limited and you don't even know it. This one actually went out of print, but they found some extra copies back in the storage room. So during a sale like a couple years back, actually, I was able to get it. And that is a double feature, The Crypt of the Living Dead and House of the Living Dead. Very different films, actually. One of them, I think, is Andrew Prine. I'm pretty sure one of these is Andrew Prine. Yeah, I think it's Crypt. I think Andrew Prine's like this character actor that you might know his name, like to hear it, but trust me, if I said Google Andrew Prine, you would know who I'm talking about as soon as you saw his picture. He's been on a lot of movies. He's been like Grizzly, I'm in Amityville 2. I think he was in what's the name of it? The one that the 10 Dread Sundown. I'm pretty sure he was in that one as well. He's done a lot anyway, and you would know him as soon as you see him. But again, really fun one that you need. The DVD of it is still available, but the Blu-ray no longer is. So this one here was a Blu-ray DVD combo pack. I always look now when Vinegar Syndrome is putting stuff out. I look for things that are going to be going out of print and not coming back in. Even if they're not, even if there's a few of them, if they're not, they don't look to be selling the best right away. I don't take that chance. Now this was one of the many that was meant to be kind of like talk about exploitation TV. Now, exploitation TV was Vinegar Syndrome's like long gone streaming service. Now, it wasn't originally going to be called exploitation TV. Actually, that's what it was called after a while. But the initial name for their streaming service was Skinaflix. And here is like gotta be careful. Yep, I gotta be very careful. And here's like an ad for their streaming service that never. Hey, welcome, Nethead. But exploitation TV lasted, I think, for a couple of years. They basically used it to like fund restorations of other films. I don't think they really ever made any like serious money off of exploitation TV. It was like it was kind of streaming is really hard to make money off of. Oh yeah, always Caliber. I'm not one of those people that has to have a Blu-ray. Like if there's a DVD and I don't need the Blu-ray of it, I'll grab the DVD. Especially if I can't find it. When Scream Factory put out The Howling originally, I was on my way to Morocco, my very first time going over there. And I mean, I was literally on my way to Morocco, as in I was driving to the airport. But The Howling was coming out. And I went to 4 different stores to find it. None of them had it. And finally, I grabbed the DVD of The Howling at HMV, which was the only place that had it. And they only had one copy of it. And then I brought it back to my apartment and said, I'll check it out when I come home. And now The Howling has a steelbook, and I don't mind upgrading the Blu-ray eventually for that one because I've already got the DVD edition of it. And I do think that The Howling is one of the best pieces of art in the cover of it, in the early Scream Factory stuff. Definitely check this out. It's a fun one. It's a good double feature. It's a fun double feature. Next up is one that I was unsure about getting when I got it, but it was super cheap, and I was curious about it. And I ended up really liking it. And that one here is Massage Parlor Murders. This is a cool little film. Definitely a fun one. And it has something that a lot of Vinegar Syndrome titles don't have, and that's it's got a booklet. Exactly. I never thought about that. Good idea, William. It even has this little like kind of, I think it's a call sheet, like a shot sheet on the inside. Just a little like touches that they put in there. And if you have ever lived in New York, or you wonder about like kind of like the 42nd Street type of vibe, you want to see what that time period was like. Massage Parlor Murder is actually excellent for that type of, to get that type of feel. And if you haven't picked it up, this is probably going to be fairly cheap when it comes to the sale. And as far as I know, these still all have booklets with them, and not a lot. Yeah, then Massage Parlor Murders. Danuch, do you have it? Because you should have it, dude. Because Massage Parlor Murders, man, has a booklet, which is something not many Vinegar Syndrome titles does have. And at this point, when that goes on 50% off, that's going to be like super cheap. Speaking of ones that are super cheap and directors that I talked about before, Ted V. Michaels. So this is a double feature, and definitely one to look into, man. It's an odd little film, but it's fun, and you get to see a lot of 42nd Street, like circa that 70s era. So this is probably one of the most accessible Ted V. Michaels films that you're going to see. It's not, there's no like killer cats, or there's no zombie creatures with overly large heads putting flashlights to their foreheads. No, this pretty much like kind of pre-did Charlie's Angels, and having this like group of like, and there's a new Charlie's Angels, so this is a perfect time to get this one. A bunch of like kick-ass ladies going out and doing their thing. In the first one, what is it they do again? Yeah, a foursome of female agents are out to stop a vicious evil mastermind from unleashing the bubonic plague in this action-packed thriller. And then in Mission Kill Fast, martial arts master Tiger Yang faces off against a group of savvy weapons dealers, resulting in a non-stop orgy of shootouts, explosions, and bikini-clad beauties. It's a really cool release. It does actually have a one of the early reversible covers that they would do. Hey, Kathy, we're happy to see you here too. Hopefully with power. And I don't even say that joking, I'm serious. I hope your mom's doing okay, by the way. For now. Fingers crossed, Kathy, for a while. Because it's ridiculous that that goes on there. Doll Squad, Mission Kill Fast. Definitely recommend, if you're an action fan and you like these type of films, I definitely recommend checking it out. Okay, this is an odd one. This is a recent one for me. And I wanted it especially because I'm a really big fan of the two lead actresses in this film. I'm a big fan of Lynn Laurie, and I'm a huge fan of Mary Warnoff as well. I expected this to kind of be like, kind of a standard, maybe like a psychological, maybe slightly erotic thriller. It went in a different direction than I thought it was going to go. And the movie is called Sugar Cookies. And if you hear like the plot, the Sugar Cookies, you're going to think, oh, that type of film, where basically there's a girl at the beginning that's killed, that's murdered, and by a guy, and then all of a sudden there's another girl that comes by looking for a role that actually looks exactly like her, and she slowly gets looks like she's being groomed to take over the part that other girl played before she died. It's unique, and I really like it. I really do. But definitely an odd little film. So if you've never seen Sugar Cookies, it's definitely one to look into. Now, the one I'm going to show you next, everybody that has Vinegar Syndrome is definitely going to have this title. And that is Raw Force. Now, kid, super low budget. By Electric 2. Boogeyman 2. Uli Lama's Boogeyman 2. It's not out on Blu-ray yet. I'm not even sure what the DVD release for Boogeyman 2 is. But it stars Susanna Love, and she was the, I don't know if she's wife or at least the girlfriend of, oh, for real. That's not the only like insane kill in the film. Again, some of those I need to get. But yeah, there is a death by electric toothbrush in Boogeyman 2. Also, there's a death. Oh God, there's a weird, like a film's being done. There's a pool. I'm not sure if this will jog your memory now, but there's like a director. It's actually played by Uli Lamo, and there's this pool where they're shooting like a scene for one of these like films. It's kind of like an erotic type of scene. There's an odd, like servant that you know is mysterious. That is mysterious and threatening. And I think somebody gets killed by, I'm not sure if it's a hose. I know somebody gets killed by electric toothbrush. Somebody gets killed by a hose. It's a really different film. But Boogeyman 2, I think, is the one you're looking for. It's not easy to find, though. Like, at this point, I'll be honest, you'll have to find it through nefarious purposes because it's not out there. But Raw Force, this one is, and it is insane. It is fun, and I think everybody gets Raw Force. It's like when you started collecting, like, I don't know, when you started collecting Blue Underground and you realize, oh, I got to get those Lucha Fulcis, or you started collecting Scream Factory, like, oh yeah, I got to get They Live. When you start collecting Vinegar Syndrome, you got to get Raw Force. And this is actually, yeah, this is one of the early ones. This is a cheaper one. There is a new, well, not a new edition of it, but they put one out with a slip cover, with a new like fancy slip cover, and they're pretty low actually. They're low, like how many are left. I actually do not know, Ken, because that's one of the rare Fulcis I have not seen. To be completely honest with you. What I have seen though, and one that I do recommend, because I know they did like a FundMe for it, a GoFundMe for it, so I'm gonna pick it up down the road. But it doesn't strike me as a Fulci one that I gotta grab. You know, like certain ones I really want. Hey, and ready, we're on the second part of the Vinegar Syndrome one, dude. So I'm doing holiday horrors this year. More than likely, I'm gonna be talking about this film too. So if you guys want to grab this one. This is probably going to have a slipcover, a new slipcover coming out, because this here, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to, no bones about it. This is the worst cover that the Vinegar Syndrome ever put out. But it's one of the better films that they put out as well. It's actually really, really cool. At the time they put this out, they put like a kind of a Easter egg for a coupon on here as well, which I doubt they'll honor now because this movie came out years ago. But they had like a coupon, and if you watched through their you know, the still gallery. If you go through the still gallery, the last thing in the still gallery actually is the coupon. Oh well, this is actually a really good one. This is the most Christmassy. Hey, horror boy. This is the most Christmassy Christmas horror film that you're going to see. And that includes all of them, because this one is Christmas in a weird way. If you've seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The ending of this movie makes it the most Christmassy Christmas horror film imaginable. Are you ready for crazy? Are you ready for insane? And are you ready for one of the best looking covers put up by any company? Because this checks every one of those boxes. I haven't seen Pledge Night yet. That's one of the ones that I'm looking into. Well, I've seen it like years ago, but I can't remember it. But I don't own the Vinegar Syndrome one, unfortunately. And here it is right here. Nightmare Weekend. This is one of the most gorgeous covers I have ever seen. So, who here has, or at least has seen Nightmare Weekend? Which stars actually the guy from Pet Sematary, Dale Metcalf. Well, stars is probably like a big word, but he has a pretty important role in the film. And one of the most awkward love scenes I've ever seen, right alongside of the movie Madman. Huh. This one, guys, this is insane. Yeah, in a way, I can see that. That's actually a good analogy. I don't know, dude. I'm still waiting my Vinegar Syndrome t-shirts. The Russ Meyer thing. Eventually, Ken, you're gonna come across that, and you're gonna get like some. And then you're gonna spend like a week just like watching Russ Meyer stuff. Hey, bro. Okay, so is it really? That's nuts, man. Do you like puppets? Silver spears. Girls on roller skates. Sci-fi horror. Awkward sex scenes. Films that make little sense, but you can't stop watching them. Well, here you go. Nightmare Weekend. See, for a lot of people, that's not a selling point. For me, it's totally a selling point. It even has this reversible cover with this girl that reminds me of Elvira. That being said, I could definitely see Elvira hosting Nightmare Weekend. I'm sure that if we had gotten the Elvira series on Shudder, probably would have ones that she did. I'm not surprised. Beast of the Magic Sword is an excellent film, Ken. One of Paul Naschy's best. I didn't get that one. I'm gonna have to go for the standard edition, but I'm really proud that it's one of their biggest sellers, because that shows people that Naschy can sell, and maybe we'll see more Naschy stuff, specifically Naschy werewolf stuff in the near future, and that is something that's good for everybody. I hope that Scream Factory sold well with their Naschy sets. Yeah, I just saw that to Nooch actually. Man, he's having some serious like issues with the shipping. Poor dude. And I know it's going to peeve off certain customers. Sandra Peterson, yeah, she is gorgeous even to this day. She is gorgeous. You need more Naschy. Did you get Beast and the Magic Sword? Because that's Kathy. That's definitely one to pick up. It's one of the ones that he did like in. If my dad was here, he'd be able to tell you right off. As long as you got your stuff. But I don't know for sure. But there's a few. There's definitely a few of them. And he's playing the same character in all of the films. It's they don't always follow like continuity, but it is the same werewolf character played in all or almost all the films. So next up is one that has a great cover, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't get into it that much. Maybe I got to rewatch it. Maybe I just didn't get it at the right time. But this is Demonoid, otherwise known as Macabre, and I don't know. It just didn't hit me. I just didn't get much out of it. Now that being said, maybe I got to rewatch it. Maybe I got to see it at a different time. It was late at night when I went to watch it. It was after I first got the movie, and I haven't gone back to it since. But it didn't stand out as one of those that I had to to go back and watch. But that being said, it's got some great actors. We're talking about like some really decent actors. Samantha Eggar's in this. You know, Stuart Whitman's in this. Like Alfredo Zacharias directs this, and I really like the bees. So I got a feeling when I watched this, it was late at night, and I haven't given it a fair chance. So I will definitely go back and watch it again. Here's another one that I definitely give a fair chance to. And I got them at the same time, actually. And that is Frightmare. Which... Oh, definitely. I'm going to get to that one. I'm just doing them in a numerical order, Kathy. Again, I love the cover on this one. This was still in their blue cases. Eventually, I want to get like some white cases because I'm not into the blue case stuff. And there's the alternate artwork, which is actually pretty cool. I don't know. I mean, like, I doubt it. I mean, like, well, they are Ken, as in they're putting out the Hammer set. No, I'm not. You're gonna find out I'm not picky about a lot of things, Ragman. To be totally honest with you. November 26th. Then nothing. A lot of companies tend to do releases in a late November slate. Then they'll take the December slate to pretty much like not put a lot out, and then you'll see them do stuff in January. I gotta get some. I gotta eventually get some of those, Wayne. I didn't know Amazon did them though, but thank you. But I think I'm not sure if Scream Factory. No, Scream Factory doesn't, but I know that I'm pretty sure Vinegar Syndrome bypasses December as well. Now they didn't announce anything for December, but I think was it indicated that said that they'd soon be announcing their January releases. So that kind of makes me think that maybe there's not going to be any December releases, which isn't too bad because it gives them time to really work on the releases for the new year. It's hard to believe, but it's almost the end of 2019. We're hitting into the 2020s, and that's kind of nuts when you really think about it. And what's that mean? A whole new year collecting and deciding which way we're going to go with collecting. So this is one a lot of people don't like that I actually love, and that is Luther the Geek. And this stars Stacey Haddock, who is, she's gorgeous in this film. She was April O'Neil in I think the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think Paige Turco took over in part. I love this film in part 2 and 3. I love it because one, Stacey Haddock is in it, and she's in it, and two, the geek character could have been so badly done, and this could have been so cheesy, but the dude commits to playing the role and taking it seriously, and that makes a difference. That legit makes a difference for me. Birthplace of Ronald Reagan. Hey, Milwaukee, welcome. We're talking Vincent. But actually, this was a fun one. There is an alternate artwork for this one as well, but it's gory, so we'll leave it out. So the other Alfredo Zacharias one. What's the most underrated Vinegar Syndrome title? Oh, Luther the Geek definitely is up there. A lot of people hate that one. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, a lot of people really hate that film. But one of the most underrated, insane, crazy films is Nightmare Weekend, because much like Things, not quite as bad as Things though, but much like Things, it goes in a direction where basically you kind of wonder what they were on to make Nightmare Weekend. Oh wow. You collect motorcycles? I haven't rode a motorcycle since I was a kid, like teenager, and I never rode a Harley. I'm not a big guy. I can't do it. I actually want for when I was collecting like Doctor Who, I would buy a lot of Region B Doctor Who releases because I would save money. And sometimes for 88 films as well, I would do the same thing. But usually it comes down to which one has the better presentation and the best price, and that I like. I have found that if I buy something just to get the lower price version of it, and there's like some special limited edition or collector's edition out there, then I'm basically going to end up probably buying the other one anyway. So I've bit myself like in the butt in the past with that. 350. The only thing I've ever rode on, and you're going to think I'm a wimpy guy, which I feel pretty wimpy anyway. It's okay. I rode on a Ninja 750. That's what I rode, and there was no brakes. I'm not even joking. Came off the assembly line without brakes. That's the 750 for you guys, and its first run. I don't know a lot about bikes, but I will not forget that evening. The Bees. This one I do think is fun, and I do think this one is underrated. Not a lot of people talk about the Alfredo Zacharias' The Bees. It is definitely an early ahead of its time. Hey Daz, welcome, man. You got Angel Tompkins, John Carradine, Claudio Brook, John Saxon in this film. So you got like a whole ton of like, you definitely need a few of these. Now this is gonna be a cheap one too, Danuch. But I sat down, I watched this one with my kids and my dad and my cousin Raj was over, and we all sat down and watched it. We're eating hot dogs, watching The Bees. It does kind of make you think of Candyman, doesn't it? But it's actually kind of an odd environmental type of film. I'm not even joking, it's an early environmental film. Hey PlayStation, we're doing Vincent. This is the second part of my video that started yesterday. There's the other artwork, which I think is actually pretty cool. This is pretty cool and gory though. I love Candyman. Do you ever think about how silly his origin is? Like when you really get down to it, and this is coming from somebody that loves the films. That he's a painter that fell in love with this girl and basically have an affair, but like her husband's super racist. So they find him and they cut off his hand. And not only did they cut off his hand, but then they put like honey on him. So he gets stung by bees. And they definitely overkill in the killing department of Candyman. The dude wasn't Rasputin. They didn't have to go that intense with Candyman, but they did. I wonder if the new one would do that. They'll keep like killing him in different ways. I'm going to cut off both your hands, and I'm going to put honey all over you, and I'm going to disembowel you. Oh, nice! I love my PSVR. Let me know what you think of it, by the way. Hey, Jacob, welcome. Next up is one that got a recent like biopic based on the actor that stars in the film, and that is Rudy Ray Moore, Dolomite. We love this film. Me and my better half utterly like adore this movie. Rudy Ray Moore is a force of nature. He's someone to be reckoned with. He was a stand-up comedian. Put out a few albums, comedy albums. He had kind of like this kind of gimmick where he would basically talk about, he would do poems, kind of do lyrical speech. He actually does it in Dolomite, and it makes no sense when it happens. Like, spin us one of your rhymes, Dolomite. Like it's something that we should know as an audience that he does. And if you don't know Rudy Ray Moore, which most people didn't because this was his first film, one of his first films at least anyway, we're like, where's this poetry coming from? But it's in the film. It's a crazy fun film. There's a movie out on Netflix called My Name is Dolomite. I'm waiting for my better half to come home to check it out. But definitely. Next up is one that is more of an adulty title, so you know that. And it is Ginger Lynn, and I'm a huge Ginger Lynn fan. I grew up with Ginger Lynn. Not literally, like she was my neighbor or anything. Man, I wish. But I grew up watching Ginger Lynn. Anyway, Trashy Lady, which is an adult version of Pygmalion in reverse, or My Fair Lady, if you want to go there. It's the same thing. In reverse, basically, she's too classy of a girl. Like there's a gangster mall. I think he's played by Harry Reams. Yeah. So Harry Reams, who I guess he's most prominently known for the film Deep Throat, which was a movie he wasn't even supposed to be in, but the guy that didn't show up on the set. So anyway, so Harry Reams tended to do like a lot more. He did a lot more comedic roles when it came to adult films. It was about the comedy for him. And if you watch a Harry Reams film, it's usually got a strong amount of comedy in it. This one is no different. And basically he plays like a gangster, like a big gangster guy, a big gangster mall, someone that the executioner Mac Bullen will go after, I guess. Yeah, exactly. He was in that, which is the background of that film. If it's all true, it's horrifying. I'm interested in that one does. That's one of the ones I want to pick up in the sale. That's got Shannon Tweed, right? And if it's got Shannon Tweed, I'm there. I'm there for the Shannon Tweed. I want more Shannon Tweed in my life. But basically, his girlfriend runs off on him, so he meets this other girl. She's like one of those, those cigarette girls, but she's super classy. And he has a rival gangster mall, a gangster's mall. I think they're married now. Like they had one of those reality shows on. I can't remember what it's called. I didn't watch it, but from what I heard, like part of the show is was about her trying to get Gene Simmons to marry her type thing, like to actually make it legal. Because Gene Simmons is one of those guys who kind of made it a thing. He doesn't drink or he doesn't smoke. He doesn't do drugs. His only finally jewel. Okay, thanks, Dooch. His only his only like vice, I guess, is the ladies. So not sure if he gave that up after he got married, but what's it he used to say? Knights in Satan's service, like when they're trying, like, oh, Kiss is they're corrupting minors with their devil music. Yeah, because when I think of devil music, I think of Beth, right? I haven't seen Putney Swoop yet. Sorry, I couldn't respond before, but I didn't see your message up there on screen. Counterculture meets blaxploitation. Definitely sounds like my thing, Fry. Like Sims is sort of a jerk. Is it really? I've never met him, and I've never seen the show, so I actually have no idea. I know he's like a businessman. He's like really like strong businessman. Like he is definitely about the money over the music type of thing. Like that's an obvious. This here is the first Vinegar Syndrome I've ever bought, by the way. Night Train to Terror. If you don't own this one, Runaway. It's actually a really cool film. It got a good release, Runaway. But I really liked it. It was like Gene Simmons is the bad guy, and there was all these robots, like these little robot creatures, and Tom Selleck is like this. I think it's a cop or something like that. Oh, there you go. So Sims is nice. Now the thing is too, you have to understand when people are being interviewed, we don't know one what was going on before they came in there, what happened before those cameras started. Interviews can be a little bit what's the word? As a guy that went in for journalism, interviewers can know how to prod to get the reaction that they want, that you may not want to give them. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying that could be the case. Night Train to Terror. Anybody that watches my channel that has not yet picked up Night Train to Terror, why have you not picked up Night Train to Terror? I have to ask you that. Hi, I'm Aaron. This is my movie library. Is this in your movie library? Because this should be in your movie library. Everybody's got something to do. Everybody but you. What's actually super cool about this film is it is an odd film. It is one of the weirdest anthologies you're ever going to see, but it's oh no, not it's not like Last House. What you're thinking about is you're thinking about Night Train Murders, Danuch. Night Train Murders is the one that's like Last House on Left on a Train. It's a completely different film. Actually, I think I got it from 88 Films. This is an anthology film made of like three movies that are pretty much cut down to make this one film. Two of them, by the way, have the guy from Night Court in it. Bull. He's also in the house. And what's super cool about this is that because the stories are Harry, Greta, and Claire. Like that's the three stories. That's the name of the stories, right? But the second one, Greta, is insane. It's got a murder club where people are suicide club, where basically people like try to die. Richard Mall. Thanks, William. I couldn't remember his name for the life of me. But the Greta one, the actual full movie is here. It had never been released before, not as far as I know, but Greta, the full film, is here. And it's the only movie that this actress ever did. And she is so intriguingly enigmatic that I couldn't take my eyes off her when I was watching the film. And I wished that she'd done more. Yeah. Harry Anderson. That name I do know. He actually used to act on Cheers as well. Like he had a kind of a guest starring role on Cheers. And of course, he was in the movie It. But he did the role that I think that Bill Hader did in the new one. I think that's correct, right? And he did have that feel of like being like a real grifter. Like he got that across well with Night Court. I remember the Mel Torme stuff because his character was like a huge Mel Torme fan, so he'd have Mel Torme come in every one of them. Oh, really? I remember Chaz Bowen. He used to have that thing in Gore Zone. Marky Post. She was the second one. There's another girl before Marky Post, though. Actually, the girl before Marky Post is probably pretty famous. You've heard her if you haven't seen her. And a little bit of like useless trivia for you. If anybody here likes Meatloaf or like his music anyway, one of his big albums was Bad Out of Hell. Exactly, Danuch. She sang Paradise by the Dashboard Lights. That was her singing the song. However, now when the video is done, it's not her. They use somebody else for it. They use Carla DeVito, who I guess for movie fans is probably most famous for doing We Are Not Alone, which is the song that the Breakfast Club dances to in the infamous or famous, I guess, Breakfast Club dance sequence in the film. I have weird knowledge. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. I just actually I'd like to know, what did Marky Post do for, somehow before acting? I don't know. I'm curious. Do tell. I always had such a crush on Marky Post. She used to do this show that I think Billy Bob Thornton was on it. Hearts of Fire, right? Like that later. Like, but I don't know what she did before she started acting though. Was she really? I used to watch Card Sharks. I probably saw her and didn't even realize it. That's cool. See, there's cool, useless information that's gonna be useful. I'm gonna remember that, dude. Thanks a lot. All right. Next up is another Rudy Ray Moore, The Humor Tornado. This is the actual only legit sequel to Dolomite. The next two Rudy Ray Moore films that they put out are Rudy Ray Moore films, but they're not. He's not playing the same character of Dolomite in those two films. He's playing a different character. But this is still Dolomite in this one. This is the only sequel to Dolomite, and it's got a pretty cool cast in here as well. We got like Ernie Hudson coming in for this one, and world karate champion Howard Jackson, because Dolomite has to do his karate, because that is the thing that Dolomite is totally an expert at. It's a fun film. Definitely check it out if you're into blaxploitation. Matt Simber has made a lot of films, a lot of odd and unusual films. These are probably two of his better ones. We get Candy Tangerine Man, which actually is a really cool film, and Lady Coco, which actually isn't bad either. This is a really good double feature. No real not a lot of features on there. Like there's a commentary and a director's introduction. So I guess for a double feature, that's pretty good considering like companies like Scream Factory now put out double features with like nothing, not even trailers on them anymore. And this is a Blu-ray DVD combo pack, like much of the early stuff. And if you're a big fan of Candy Tangerine Man, then you'll have this one here, and you'll have Lady Coco down the bottom. But say you watch these films, you decide, hey, you know what? I like Lady Coco better than like Candy Tangerine Man. Well, Vinegar Syndrome, they got you back, man. Because here you got a Lady Coco cover with Candy Tangerine Man down at the bottom. So either way, whichever film you find to be your favorite film, there's a cover for it. And that's one of the genius things I like about Vinegar Syndrome. Because usually if I buy like a double feature from a company like Scream Factory or something like that, open it up and there's just a bunch of pictures. Like it's not alternate artwork, it's just usually just a bunch of pictures from the films on there. Sticking with, I haven't seen Putney Swoop. It's one that that I'm interested in, especially because I heard you say it there. When you said that first, it didn't come it hid the comment, and I had to go and like unhide it. It's so weird what it randomly does. So here's Rudy Ray Moore in his third film. He's not playing Dolomite, but he's still Rudy Ray Moore, and it's Petey Wheatstraw, the Devil's Son-in-Law. It's fun. It's I guess horror comedies, horror action comedy, I guess is the way to put it. There's like a magical pimp cane that the I'm not joking. And as always, there's like an alternate artwork for these. What's the best film to start with? Like for enjoyment purposes, something like Dolomite's fantastic. Shaft obviously is a really good one, the original Shaft. But I actually think Dolomite's a great start for blaxploitation. Now, the very first blaxploitation film out there is a bit of a heady one, and that's Sweetback's Badass Song. That's the first blaxploitation film. However, although it has a lot, Superfly is a great choice too. Actually, a really great choice, Cat. It has, although it's the first one, it's not one that I recommend starting with. Pam Grier, yeah, Foxy Brown, definitely like Coffee, another great one. Hey, Jerry, welcome. But the reason I don't recommend starting with the first one is it's headier. It's definitely more of an artsy film, and it's something to watch after you've got like you've started to get like a taste for blaxploitation. Once you've seen your Sugar Hills and your Pam Griers and your Jim Browns and your Dolomites, your stuff like that. Oh yeah, Ganja Nest definitely. That's what I was gonna say actually. Then go back and check out Sweetback's Badass Song and check out Ganja and Hess. Those are definitely two classics, but they're not the ones that you watch to get somebody into it. Oh, but so is Sweetback. Like they're both really good films. It's just that if you watch Ganja and Hess or you watch Sweetback, although they're within the blaxploitation genre, you really aren't getting a good example of what blaxploitation is going to be. Blackula, yeah, of course. And if you really want to dive deep, but Sugar Hill, even more so. I love Blackula. Sugar Hill, like hands down, like my favorite. Like I love Blackula, but hey, Dungeon, but Sugar Hill is my favorite blaxploitation horror film. I've watched that one several times. It's one of the ones that I keep going back to. Robert Corey is actually a really good bad guy on that one too. Need towards the already said, yeah. That's why I say I always start out with some of the lighter, more fun ones, and then get to work your way into like the deeper, artier stuff. That's just my opinion though. But it's a better like example of like what the majority of what you're getting is going to be. I guess some of them are, but you have to understand that a lot of the people that do black exploitation films are actually like black directors and actors. Now, obviously, once they they noticed that there was an audience that they were not going towards, they jumped in there and they exploited that for all that it could do. And but that being said, all of a sudden you had like a lot of actors that were stuck in doing like usually the bad guy or just like whatever, like the small role. We're getting leading roles, and when it was done well, it was done really well. Cotton Comes to Harlem is actually another really good one. Oh yeah, Larry Cohen was like ahead of the curve when it came to that stuff. Um, he's a guy that you definitely would see doing stuff like that, and not in an exploitive way. Larry Cohen was one of those guys was like super. He was he was ahead of the curve when it came to stuff like that. And his movies were like satirical. I won't say political, but they had biting satire of the day. Bone is an early one there, exactly. Is Who put out Bone? Bone was put out, right? He was amazingly ahead of it. Like I'm a huge Larry Cohen fan. Disco Godfather. This is the fourth one. This is Rudy Ray Moore decided for some unusual reason, Underground, that's who it was, that he wanted to do a message film. So I'm not joking. There's a message in Disco Godfather about the evils of PCP, angel dust, as and if you're my age, then you'll have read many of the different comics or seen many different films where there's a sequence where somebody is on angel dust and suddenly they think that they can fly, or they think that they're a bird, or they see a bird and they suddenly jump out a window or jump off a building, that type of thing. There's a ton of that from my era, and it's not untrue. So the stuff can mesh up, man. James Brown? No, he unfortunately was not. I don't think so. Anyway, I haven't watched this one yet. Not for a long time, anyway. So yeah, if you like combining his trademark kung fu with social commentary and hallucinogenic nightmare sequences, which evoke the surreal weirdness of Coffin Joe, you gotta get it, man. Blackenstein is one. It's I enjoy it, but it's not one of my favorites. I'll fess up, and I'll say like Blackenstein, the behind the scenes with Blackenstein. Oh, I do remember Narc. Used to play a lot actually. Um, is one of those where the behind the scenes is almost as interesting. Yeah, I think so actually. Black Caesar, right on. Black Caesar is a good one too. Larry Cohen was one of those renegade directors. That's why he was able to do stuff like that. Would I do it? Yes, yes, I would. Look at the way my channel is. Do you not think? Do you not see that as something that I would possibly do? That's if people that know me, that's me in a nutshell. Oh, that's sad but true. So, did you like Evil Town? Did you get the VSA, the Vinegar Syndrome Archives Evil Town? Did you? Did you? Because it was a good one. It was a fun one. Some people didn't like it, but it was fun. Did you think when you were watching it, man, if this movie had good actors and more of a cohesive plot, I wonder what it would be like. It would be like this: Evils in the Night, which is Evil Town, but with a better plot and better actors. Some people that love Evil Town are gonna hate that, but I actually like Disco Godfather. It's a different film. Like don't go in expecting it to be Dolomite. It's not, but it's still Rudy Ray Moore, and he acts in the way that Rudy Ray Moore actually plays that one, the one person that he is. You're not getting Shakespeare with Rudy Ray Moore. That's okay. That's not what we expect. But it is more of a message one. It was a little odd, but I found it endearing. No, James Brown is not Disco Godfather. That was a joke actually that somebody said. But Evils of the Night, great. Yeah. You like the cover? And the cast. I mean, like, you want to know, like Julie Newmar, yeah, Catwoman, Tina Louise, John Carradine, uh, Aldo Ray, Amber Lynn. It has a great freaking cast. This movie has a great cast. So you're thinking like, wow, Evil Town. This one does have a good cast. You like Nashi? Nashi loved Universal Monsters. That's why he did all those. She was amazing. I like her as a kid too, though. But I think Julie Newmar's probably my favorite. I had a big crush on her. Of course, Lee Merriweather was good. What Catwoman don't I like? I don't like the Catwoman movie with Halle Berry. But it's, I do like Halle Berry though. But yeah, so this was his turn playing Dracula. So this is Dracula's Great Love. You must have missed Raw Force. That was one of the first ones I did, Warlock. Right, Raw Force was right after Sugar Cookies, which is another like strange film, but I do kind of recommend it in an odd way. Did she ever? Well, Shan Young, you have to understand, Brian, she was hired for the role of Vicky Vale in the original Batman, the 1989 Batman. But she couldn't do it. So they had to recast the role, and they recasted it with Kim Basinger, who did really good. So when the second movie was coming out, the Catwoman was going to be in it. So Sean Young did a very aggressive, like trying for the role of Catwoman. I think she made her own suit. Sean Young is a unique. She's a unique person. Actors, they're eccentric. She very much is, and she did try for the role of Catwoman. It's actually a very interesting story. Dracula's Great Love. It's a good one. Definitely recommend it, guys. It is a little bit slower and a little bit more on the love side than you would expect for like a Paul Naschy film. But he and this is another one that does give us one of the booklets. Oh yes, the Batwoman character is she came about in the 2000s, I think. Now, her character was kind of like an alternate universe character early on in Batman, like this in the 60s. But the character that's there is Batwoman, and people keep getting her confused with Batgirl because people get. Yeah, that's the one. She was the villain in Ace Ventura. That's giving it away, but it's been long enough that I can say that. People keep getting confused with Batwoman and Batgirl. And they keep saying, "Oh my God, they made Batgirl gay." No, it's a completely different character. She always was. She's more of a badass character. She's always been like one of these really badass type characters. She's she's trained by the best, and I've only seen the first couple episodes, which I really liked actually. It does. But I actually really liked it, especially Ruby Rose. Is that her name? She's really freaking good. She kicks butt, and I like that. So yeah, but she's been in the comics for a while. She had her own comic. I think she was with Renee Montoya for a bit in the comics. If you're a Batman fan, sorry to go off there, but I'm a big comic geek. So anytime anybody asks me a question like that, Count Dracula's Great Love. Naschy does try to stay true to the universal feel of the films. Like, so obviously there's nudity, there's blood, but he still does try to stay true to his werewolf character is always usually like a tortured kind of pathos character, much like the Lawrence Talbot character is in the original Wolfman. His Dracula character is, again, is a romantic character. It's which much of the way Dracula initially was, and it's a good film. This one, if this one is still available and people don't have it, I think it's out of print. But Horror House on Highway 5. Now this one was available for a while. This was a limited edition. Around, I think, was it 15? No, 3,000 copies of this. And for the longest time, like for over, since I got this one, I kept telling people, get Horror House on Highway 5. It's insane. You have to get Horror House on Highway 5. Some people listened to me and thought, yes, that's insane. It's totally nuts. But I kind of love this film. Other people were like, I think it's sold out now. Don't say I did not give you enough prep for this film. It is crazy. It is a Richard Casey film. There was 2 limited edition Richard Casey films that were put out. So if you like a serial killer wearing a Nixon mask, Nazis, mini rockets, kidnapping, and various other things put into one film in a semi-cohesive manner, you need yourself Horror House on Highway 5. I keep hoping that they'll put out like a non-limited edition of that one, even if it's like a bare bones one, because it's one that I think everybody should at least get the chance to see. This one, the next one they put out, Hey B Movie, was Richard Casey's Hellbent. Now, Hellbent is another one of those kind of like sold your soul for rock and roll type of films, but it's probably more cohesive and has got a better like narrative than Horror House on Highway 5. But I enjoy them both because I like super crazy, insane Z-grade films. But this one actually is pretty good. I actually really did like this one. And a decent cast too. You know, you got David Marciano's in this one as well. But again, I think this was limited 3,000 as well. No, 2,000. This only had 2,000. So one of those sort of fashion others. Definitely, so check it out. I definitely recommend you check it out. Tell me what you think, dude. All right. If you grew up in the 80s or you're a kid in the 90s, then you know Linnea Quigley. And you probably know Brink Stevens, and you probably know Michelle. I do, actually. I do think that we're going to get at least 2 more slipcovers, maybe 3, in there on Black Friday. I'm expecting one of them to be Christmas Evil, which I would pick up. I'm hoping it's going to be like a Christmas present. But that's one that I expect. Hey Horror Cinema, it's a good time. I mean, it's a great time for movie collectors, isn't it? Like it is like legitimately, like some people go, the Criterion sale is amazing, but for some of us, the Vinegar Syndrome sale, it's the sale. It is, this is the one. Like no matter you love Criterion or you're not a fan of Criterion, it's a 50% off sale. You know exactly what it is. There's no surprises coming for the 50% off sale. It's just getting Criterions at a good price. With the Vinegar Syndrome Black Friday sale, there's a ton of surprises. You never know exactly what's coming out, what movies are coming out, what slip covers are going to be released, if there's going to be different merch that's going to be released exclusively for that time frame. So if you've never experienced the Vinegar Syndrome Black Friday sale, that's the thing. You're not just getting 50% off of a lot of their titles. Now you won't get 50% off of the new titles, obviously, but you get you do tend to have percentage off of those as well. But there's secret titles. There's titles that are revealed the day of the sale. There are, and now recently, there's slipcovers of older titles that you're getting. It's nuts. Oh, those are nice, man. First Barnes & Noble order. I really like the look of that Godzilla set. I definitely want to get that. Has anybody been picking up? I'm not sure, Horse Cinema. I've never actually bought any of their. I know that sometimes they have some of their other titles on sale as well from other companies. But I don't know. I know that they sold once. They had a few copies of Miami Connection, and they sold them for like $10 each, which was actually pretty good. So sometimes they do. Nightmare Sisters. It's got all the later Scream Queens in here, and it has a guy an actor whose name in the film is, well, his acting name is Dookie Flyswatter. I'm not joking. I'm not sure. I don't think that's his real name. I'm guessing it's not. It's like an Alan Smithy type of thing. But in this film, his acting name in the credits is Dookie Flyswatter. Yeah, that's the thing. They can't always do like it depends. Like if they've had them for a while and there's just a few there, or they want to get rid of some extra stock. Obviously, they can't go 50% off on other companies' discs, but they can put like a bit of a sale price on certain ones, maybe like a 30 or something like that. I wouldn't expect them to, but still, like you still find a lot of them at like really good prices. Yeah, it's a big one. It's like you got the Bergman one set too, right? Put it next to that one. I was tempted to get the other L actually. See, for you, Danuch, though, because you live in New York, man. That's where everything happens. But here in Canada, it's expensive for us either way, actually. But so when I can get that stuff, it's fun. Double feature. Do recommend this one. Actually, it's kind of fun. Murder Weapon and Deadly Embrace. So they're two Linnea Quigley films. What's neat about this is, say, for instance, you had Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, and you're wondering, hey, did that guy from Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, he did quite the interesting performance in the film. Can I get my hands on another film that he's acted in? Why, yes. Why, yes, you can. Because he is in Murder Weapon. So if you want to see the guy in a different role that was in Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, the star of the film, he's in Murder Weapon. You get to see Gianluca Vincent in Deadly Embrace pretty much sleepwalking through his performance like he does in a lot of his films. And I think Lyle Wagner from Wonder Woman is in Deadly Embrace. I'm not joking. I think he has a part in it as well. So I showed you the Blood Theater one yesterday, and with Visitants. But the first film that they put out by Rick Sloan was this one right here, Hobgoblins. It's probably his most famous film. Some people like to say that it's a Gremlins ripoff. It's so much not like Gremlins, and it is so weird. This is one that I guess became famous from Mystery Science Theater because they did it on Mystery Science Theater. Nope, you're right. The original Bionic Woman, Jamie Summers, was Lindsay Wagner. And now, in the remake series, it was a British actress, and a really good actress too. Actually, she was on one of the British soaps I used to watch, and she was in an episode of Doctor Who as well. But Lindsay Wagner is the original. Now, not only that, but if you go back and you watch the Bionic Man episode, where she becomes Michelle Ryan, thank you, Rich. Where she becomes Bionic Woman. Lee Majors sings the song Jamie for that episode. Just listen to it sometime. Oh yeah. I do, unless I'm like really late and I'm tired. But I usually like to watch the credits. Usually the music in out there as well. Often credits will have like a nice song. Another one that I can strongly recommend that's nothing like his cover. Death Machines. Oh, dude, have a good one. Dude, I shall see you again soon. Death Machines. This is fun. So this looks like a science fiction type of film, or or something like that, right? It's kind of not. Uh, it's a it's an action film, and it's a really kind of a cool. You see this here, and even the opening of the film kind of makes it look like it's going to be science fiction-y and that type of stuff. But it's an action film. There's martial arts in it. Because of death machines, they're like these guys. There's like these assassins, the assassins of Madame Lou or something like that. Their character's name is. But it's a really fun film, and you'll definitely enjoy it. It's not a boring one. I showed this one last night, so I don't need to go into this one too much. But that's a Blood Mania Point of Terror double feature. But because I need all the Linnea Quigley in my life, all the Linnea Quigley, Witch Trap as well. Hopefully they'll be putting more Linnea Quigley out down the road. I like her stuff. And I actually did enjoy this film. This is by Kevin Tenney, of course, who did Witchboard, if you remember the Witchboard film. Well, he did that, and they did another one here called Witch Trap, which I'm sure probably wasn't called Witch Trap. They probably changed the name, but of course, and Night of the Demons as well. He did that too. Did you really? And if Witch Trap doesn't look familiar because of this cover here, you're probably going to remember. I remember seeing that cover so much in the video stores. It kind of freaked me out. But it's a Linnea Quigley film. It's a fun film. It's Kevin Tenney. You really can't go wrong with Kevin Tenney. I was asked earlier what one of the most underrated, overlooked Vinegar Syndrome titles is. And I didn't really have a good answer. I said, like, I have an answer now. It does deserve a new release. So, then you must have Witch Trap. Malibu High. Malibu High is one of the most underrated Vinegar Syndrome releases, and it's not at all what you think. This is definitely a movie where the cover is not a representation of the actual film. If I was to show somebody that had never seen Malibu High before this cover, they would automatically think this was like a Porky's, American Pie, Meatballs type of film. And oh my God, is that absolutely not at all in any way or any stretch of the imagination what this film is. Nope, not at all. Does it look like a funny, lighthearted sexploitation comedy romp? Yes, yes it does. Does it look like maybe like Scott Baio from Charles in Charge could come in at any moment and be like a Zap type character? Yeah, that's what you'd think. What's it about? Without giving away too much, there is a girl, it's basically the star of the film, and she is trying to get ahead in school, and she tries to, but the reversible cover still makes it look like that. I'll show you. It's literally just like a bit of a slight change. See? Still. Either way, it makes it look like it's that type of film. So basically, early on in the film, she seduces her teacher in order to like blackmail him for grades, which ends up getting her into a prostitution ring, which makes her become kind of harder and more jaded, which eventually leads to her becoming a hit woman, and it ends up eventually kind of like clashing with her actual life. Not at all what you think, is it? You would not say, okay, this is obviously about a girl that falls down, the wrong road and ends up like in prostitution and becomes a hitman. Dude, you're gonna like this film, because yeah, it is. It's pretty dark. This is anybody here see this one? Can like vouch for what I'm saying here. This is a dark film. It looks like a fun teen comedy romp, and it's not at all. It's not that. In no way. I don't think any stretch of the imagination is that ever. Have a good one, JR, and enjoy your work. It is a cool one, Daz. Actually, if you haven't checked it out, I would really recommend it. This one came out, I think, in the late 70s. Yeah, 78. So same year that Halloween came out. So I love Forrest Sanford Avalon, actually, William. Here's a cool little double feature. It is. That's all in Malibu High. And you know what? You know what's not in Malibu High very much? A high school. For yeah, high school. Very little to do with the film. You know, she's a teen that's had a rough life at home, and there's neglected parenthood, and you know, she goes down like a dark path, and things don't go very. Obviously, obviously, Brian, it's super, super misleading, but in a good way. I mean, I expected to watch something like a Lemon Popsicle or a Porky's when I originally saw the film. That was years ago when I was in my teens, and I actually became enamored with the film because it kind of like flies in the face of exactly what of everything I expected it to be. Whether you know through misleading or bad marketing, whatnot. I definitely like the film more than what what it could have been like just a bit of a trite film if they would have went in that direction. But it's good to know, right? Primeval Lurkers. It's a Roberta Findlay double feature. You guys know I really love Roberta Findlay stuff. Primeval I find better than Lurkers. I don't think so, and I'll be honest with you, probably because of the marketing. And it came out in '78, so you know I was like 7, 78. But so I don't really know. I'd have to look in Box Office Mojo, but I got a feeling it's not. Oh no, it's before Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Fast Times at Ridgemont High was in like the '80s, in the early '80s. A great soundtrack on Fast Times, by the way. I want the sequel to eventually come out. Is it coming out? The Fast Times at Ridgemont High. The wildlife, right? You're born '78. So I'm a few years older than you, dude. But Primeval, probably my favorite of these two. Lurkers isn't bad, but I like Primeval better. Next up is one of my very favorite Vinegar Syndrome titles, and I've mentioned it many times on here, so I don't have to spend a lot of time talking about it. And that is this one right here, A Woman's Torment. This is an adult film, but that being said, there is a R-rated cut of the film on here, so if you don't like adult cinema, that's okay. You can watch the R-rated cut instead. I've watched this one a lot. It's probably one of my most watched Vinegar Syndrome titles. It reminds me of Repulsion, and I'm sure it was meant to be like Repulsion. But the actress in the film is again one of those actresses that didn't do a lot of stuff, but you kind of can take your eyes off her, and you don't know why. She just has that something. For me, anyway, it really stood out, and the alternate artwork, by the way, is gorgeous, which I will show you right now. Why haven't I changed it around? That's a really nice artwork, actually. How long is the R-rated cut? Let me find out. See if it says here. Maybe it won't tell me. Because the movie itself isn't like long. I think it's like 84 minutes or something like that. Less than 84 minutes, probably like 70 minutes, 70-something minutes long. Sex scenes are so long. They are actually. And they're not even like, they're not sexy. They're not meant to be. So Pick Up, you've already seen last night, so I'm going to get in that one. Oh, if you like Repulsion, you're going to definitely like A Woman's Torment, a dungeon, because it has that type of feel to it. And I think Roberta Findlay did an amazing job. Like, it's criminal that she's not better known than she is. But she's one of those directors that, yeah, I really enjoyed that film. And it was like, there's darkness to that film. There's another film, Brian, that's dark, if you like that, like the dark type films. You like Repulsion? Yeah, A Woman's Torment. Definitely check it out. In a different way, I guess that you can call it some document too. Ice Cream Man. It's a fun film. It's got Clint Howard. It's super cheesy. It's if you're a fan of Joe Bob, you gotta get this one. There's like a Monster Vision version, like kind of sequences on this film right here. It's the only one that ever had Monster Vision on it. And if you're watching Joe Bob's Last Drive-In, that's like your go-to, your Shudder thing. Definitely pick this one up. because you're going to get some Joe Bob goodness on this one. It's a crazy film with a cast that you wouldn't expect. Clint Howard's on here. We got Olivia Hussey from Black Christmas, and of course Romeo and Juliet. David Naughton from American Werewolf from London's on here. Jan Michael Vincent, again coming in to get a check, is on here as well. Definitely want to check out, man. There's a guy. Yep, Ron Howard's brother. He was actually a famous child star. He had like what's the name? I can't remember the TV show. He had a TV show when he was a kid. I'm sure somebody here or not, but he was like a child. He was a child star, and he did stuff like he did Star Trek and all that. Like he did an episode of that as well. But he had his own TV show too, where he was kind of the cute little kid at the time. He grew up like to be an odd-looking character. But yeah, I think this one belongs in everybody's collection. It's fun. I don't think you can watch this one not have fun, and it's a good one to watch with a bunch of people as well. There's this. I don't think it was Leave the Beaver. I don't know if there was. I don't think there was a horror. Maybe there was, but that I don't know. But there was a show that he was in. I'd have to go back and look. And I'm trying to keep your messages up here. That's why I haven't checked some of the other stuff. But this has a lot of features, and I will mention the features on this one. There's a commentary with the director, Ice Cream Man, Monster Vision, Summer School Edition with Joe Bob Briggs and Clint Howard. Interview Clint Howard on here. It's a really cool one. It's a fun one. I definitely recommend it if you don't have it yet. Next up is Fugitive Girls, which you've already saw. Now I'm curious. Now I have to know, guys. But he had because the guy did everything. Like he was in a ton of stuff. 252 movies at the time, and counting, right? Courtship of Eddie's Father. He was. No, that was just a guest star. Andy Griffith Show. He was in like the Andy Griffith Show as a kid. The Patty Duke Show. He did an episode of that. Like there's a few different ones that he was in. There's one that it's killing me. I don't remember. Gentle Giant. He did like a lot of the early Disney stuff. Gentle Ben. That's it. He's in Gentle Ben. Like he's one of the stars of the movie Gentle Ben. Sorry, guys. That was really getting to me that I didn't remember it. But yes, he actually he did that one. So if you're a fan of the series Gentle Ben, you remember that show from either your childhood or in the reruns. He's the kid in that. That's the one about the bear. So if you've ever seen it, that's Clint Howard. He was Leon in the Andy Griffith Show. Star Time. This as X stars. I didn't actually. I really got to. I'll do that. I promise. I'll do that for my next video. I can't remember what it was last time. Was he really? I like Henry Thomas. So hopefully this was kind of like just a little bit of a mess up. Star Time is a fun little film. I don't know if fun is the right word for it. It's a unique film. And it has Michael St. Gerard, who I guess is, for me, he's most famous for playing like young Elvis in, Elvis the TV series. And one that I haven't got around to watching yet, which I should probably do soon, because I've heard amazing stuff about it. And there's an actual second film on here as well. And that is Blue Vengeance. So, haven't seen this one yet, gonna be honest with you. So I can't tell you. I know this looks very much like American Psycho, which I'm guessing is what that cover was trying for. I don't think I've ever looked at it. Okay, it's got a unusual alternate artwork cover right there. But I'm pretty sure this is the one where the guy's like a fan of a rock group or something like that. Now we're getting into the classy stuff, guys. You ready for the classy stuff? Oh, I love Rock and Roll High School. PJ Souls, man. I love PJ Souls. I had a huge crush on PJ Souls. That, and I'm a huge... I grew up on punk. So obviously, a movie that has Ramones in it is going to be something that I'm going to watch. Blood Hook, hands down one of the best covers ever put out. I love this cover. Like, just look at the cover. Isn't that amazing? Is that not awesome? Come on, it's pretty awesome, right? This is a crazy film. I have not watched the uncut version of this. It's pretty long, actually. It's 111 minutes long. Oh, PJ Souls, yeah, she was in like Carrie, Halloween. She did a lot of films, and she eventually, like, I think it was Carrie was the first one. She had that trademark hat that she would, wear in a lot of other films afterwards. I don't think she wanted to wear the hat originally. Oh yeah, a lot of the Vinegar Syndrome covers are really embossed. Is that why the slip cover on this one is so sought after? Now this is the cover to Blood Hook that I remember. It's a different, weird little film. I don't know if I've seen Listen to the City, which means I got to see it. I'm a huge fan of hers. I would totally geek out if I met PJ Souls. Like, I've met like Robert Englund and Amanda Weiss and Tom Savini, but I would geek out for PJ Souls. Yeah, this is a trauma one that I actually am really. I want to see the trauma, like their more slashery stuff out there, because that's kind of my thing. Now this is an odd little film. I might watch this tonight. Actually, I kind of feel like it, guys. I'm kind of feeling this film. Do you suggest I watch this film? Anybody have Blood Hook? I know that Shockwave's podcast, like, this is one of their approved films. They all liked it. It's a Canuck film that I haven't seen. A Canuck exploitation. He played Willie on the series V. He's the good one, and he later becomes like the bartender in their kind of their Casablanca Ricks type place that they have in the TV series V, which is kind of like the place where aliens and humans can go together, and it's kind of like a safe spot. So, but his character's name is Willie. And I know this, and now, like, I remembered even more. Oh, I love Stripes. What kind of training is it, sir? Army training, sir. I remember that. Again, yeah, directed by Jim Malone from Mystery Science Theater. Yeah, there's a character on Saturday Night Live. It's not used a lot now, but it's like this. That's played by Keenan Wentz, and he's like, yeah, his name is Willie, and he's like the most depressing guy in the world. It's like he'll say something, and it seems like, oh, it's gonna be awesome, and then ooh, this is what I was gonna watch last night originally, was Cutting Class, because I haven't seen this one in years, and I'm again Jill Sholin on the list, on my Google Doc list of crushes. And of course, that is Brad Pitt and Donovan Leitch, who I guess if you're a music fan of like an old like '60s music fan, then yes, that's the son of Donovan, the musician Donovan, who's actually really famous. Like, my dad would have grown up like listening to Donovan's music, so this was his son, who was extremely. I'm gonna actually watch this one. No, great. Now I got two movies I want to watch. Martin Mull's in this one in a weird subplot, and Roddy McDowall comes in because Roddy McDowall has to come in to be Mr. Red Herring, because that's what Roddy McDowall did in that period of time. This is one that I picked up at Bay Street Video, so up in Toronto. And if you're still there, or Warlock, you know what I'm talking about. And this is Robert Vincent O'Neill's Wonder Women. I don't remember having seen this. I may have seen it. I don't know. Years ago, but I don't remember it. And I went in there. I saw this and this cover. Had to get it. All right. One of my favorite Norman J. Warren films is Bloody New Year. Jimmy Pitt, really? Oh no, I know it looks like Lee Majors, but it's not. It's Ross Hagen, actually. This does have a neat slipcover, which I do not have. But I've seen a lot of Brad Pitt's movies. He's done much worse than that, and some of his TV spots. So he should definitely not not say, "Oh, I don't want to talk about that movie." Yeah, give me 5 minutes with Brad Pitt. Not to do anything like that, but and have a conversation with him on that. Blood and Year is a really fun one. Well, Basic Video is my jam, man. Every time, it's my place that I'm going. Every time that I go to Ontario, I'm going in there, and hopefully, with the ability to spend as much money as I spent the last time, I was in Basic Video. I saved up a lot of money, and you guys saw the video I did, so you know. I came back with a bunch of indicator box sets and stuff like that. Okay, Graydon Clark. Not every Graydon Clark film is as good as the others. But this one's worth seeing. This is Uninvited. It is kind of a cat movie, I guess. There is, and it's got like the usual cast of characters. Graydon Clark somehow inexplicably gets into his films. George Kennedy's in here, Alex Cord, Clu Gallagher, Tony Hudson. Yeah, it's fun. This is super fun. Definitely check this out. Oh yeah, I saw the actually when I saw Seven first, William, I saw it with a bunch of friends, and I was the only person that actually stayed awake. You know, Seven's like this classic like big known thriller right now. But to be completely honest with you, oh, don't worry, I'm gonna get back in the second fry. Excuse me. They're like everybody fell asleep. I was the only person to stay awake for the whole film. There's nothing out there. You know I love this movie. You know I love that this has the most features pretty much of any Vinegar Syndrome release has ever. Look at that. Look at the amount of special features. And like some of those things are like short films or actual feature film releases as well. Oh, definitely not like Critters. It's a meta film. It's like a meta horror film before Scream. Actually, there is a little like short film on here that talks about the fact that he spent a lot of time trying to get this movie out there, and one of the people that he spoke to try and get the movie produced, to get it out there, that read the screenplay and stuff like that, was a guy that was the son of a certain director, and that director went on to become very famous for his meta horror film Scream, and so that was Wes Craven. And this, if you see this film, this is a meta horror film about a guy that knows horror movies, and they're going up to this cabin in the woods. He automatically knows, okay, something's not right here. The hero is the guy that knows his horror, just like in Scream type of stuff. But it gets completely meta. Like there's a sequence where the creature is like chasing after him, so he sees the boom mic above him, and he actually swings across the room on the boom mic. Definitely check it out. Next up is Splatter University, and yes, that is Elizabeth Caton, who you're going to remember from Friday 13th Part 7. She was also the girlfriend in Silent Night Deadly Night Part 2. The one that, her ex-boyfriend gets him to totally lose it and go on his garbage day rant. So, although she's not in the film, she's just the model for the actual cover of the film. So this is one you asked about, Wacko. Now, I was on a Just to This podcast. I was on a couple of them. If you don't listen to the Just to This podcast or Pure Cinema, I recommend them. They're both really great podcasts by a good friend of mine, Brian. I haven't spoken to Brian in a bit, actually. I gotta see how he's doing. He's so busy now. The stuff that he's doing is insane. The amount of stuff that he does. So I do not know the next time I shall be on there. but hopefully sometime in the future. But this is one of the movies we talked about, Wacko. Now, Brian loved it. He got a lot of fun out of Wacko. The first time I watched Wacko, I wasn't so much into it. It's it's odd, it's unique, it's weird. I don't think it works all the time. Oh, Pure Cinema. Pure Cinema is one he does with him and Howard Kane do together, and it's like the official like podcast for New Beverly. So, he got kind of big when they had like obviously Quentin Tarantino on one of those podcasts. Like the interview, I think it was like 2.5 hours long talking to Tarantino. They do some great stuff on. They did like John Carpenter, like one was incredible. They do incredible stuff. Well, this again, another Graydon Clark movie with an incredible cast, and this is I think the first role, if not the first role, it's one of the first roles for the Dice Man, Andrew Dice Clay, and me and Quentin have that in common, I think. And he's like one of the best parts of this film. Julia Duffy, who I was totally in love with from Newhart and shows like that, she's in this. I think she was on like Designing Women for a year, but then they took her character out, which was really stupid. Charles Napier, Stella Stevens, Jodan Baker, pretty much like Lampoon's Mitchell character on here as well. This is one of his first ones, and there's a song in this one here that he sings, and he actually did this. The song was his. He actually did the song. Yeah, because the Dining Room was one of those where they took it Delta Burke, and then Gene Smart left, and I think Julie Duffy and this other actress came on, and then Julie Duffy is gone. Then they brought somebody else in. Even though I don't watch that show, and I only saw like very little of it, I was a huge like TV guide person when I was younger too, so I was always keeping up on that type of stuff. Here's one I haven't checked out yet. And this is Battle of the Lost Planets Mutant War. This is one I want to watch with my better half because I know it's going to be her type of film. Films. So, it's cheesy sci-fi, so it's not one that I can sit back and watch on my own. I would feel bad if I watched this one on my own knowing that this is her type. Next one I do recommend. I don't know that one actually. And I got a few old Saturday Night Live episodes here too. So this is Dominique, which is a film that's probably known if you're a VHS era person. Then you probably know this for its trailer, where the narrator of the trailer would would keep saying the line over and over again. Dominique is dead, or is she? Followed by like certain like clips. It's much like a Southern Gothic. It's definitely it's definitely a slower paced film, but not boring. If you gotta go to sleep, Fry, get some sleep. I got through Wacko for you. It's an okay one. Get down on a cheaper price, but there's fun parts of it. But actually, yeah, double feature Dominique and Scalpel. That's a great idea. Have a great night, Fry. I'm almost done anyway, so have a great evening there. Next up is a unique film. And that is one that got a lot of people excited. The Suckling. So this is weird. And Michael Gingold from Fangoria, the guy that writes Fangoria, he's the creature in here, in The Suckling. It's a fun, cheesy one. He's like he's in the suit. So like when it grows up and Suckling grows up, that's him. I think they interview him on there too. Okay, next up is one that a lot of people didn't like, I guess haven't picked up. It's an adult one, and you're not going to be picking it up for the adult scenes because they're not they're again they're not exciting adult, or they're not erotic adult scenes. It's an Andy Milligan film. It's called Fleshpot on 42nd Street. Now, he was made to put in the adult portion of the film. It's pretty obvious that he doesn't give a damn about the adult portion of a Fleshpot on 42nd Street. What's really good? Oh, I love Extra. Second Sight put out a great release. There was a limited edition release that I missed out on, but there's a regular release now, but still expensive. But Fleshpot on 42nd Street. If you're a writer, if you're writing film, or like that's something that you want to do, you want to write film, then I do recommend Fleshpot on 42nd Street for the dialogue aspect of the film. Oh, you'll know Extra if you see it, dude. There's like 3 of them actually, but the first one's a really good one. The sequels kind of cash in on the Extra name, but the original Extra was an excellent film. I think the second one had Jan Michael Vincent. It could be the third one. I know he's in one of the films. This is one that I told people to get, and Brian from Just to This podcast got this one, and he said, yes, you were right. This is actually a really good film. Was Harry Reams a 4th Century? That was a different film, man. That was a roughie, right? Grandmother's House. This is a fun one. Double feature with this one with The Visit. It's actually probably, I like it better than The Visit, but definitely double feature with The Visit. Cool, and it's Brink Stevens again, like in this one as well. I love Brink Stevens. Her first talking role was actually in Slumber Party Massacre, where she's the second victim actually, because the first victim is I guess the girl. I'm not sure if she's an electrician or she's doing telephone pole or something like that. Like anyway, there's a girl there. She gets killed, but Brink Stevens is the second one to get killed because she goes back. Like they're all leaving the school, and she goes back to get her books, and she gets locked in there. There's a really great like chase scene in Slumber Party Massacre with Brink Stevens. It's actually one of the best scenes in the film. Here's one that I enjoyed that some people didn't, and I can understand that. But I like Michael Gough, and anything he's in, I gotta watch. And of course, he was Alfred in the Batman films, the real good Batman films, the 1989 one. And that is Satan's Slave. Enjoyed this one. I still love Prey and Bloody New Year best, but this is actually a pretty good one. There's only 3 more to go, guys, and I promise you can now go to sleep. Next up is Mountaintop Motel Massacre. Now, if you got the limited edition of this one, then you got a slipcover. I think you got an extra like cover because some people didn't like the cover that was on this here cover, which I thought was actually pretty cool. But some people didn't like it, and people also didn't like the alternate artwork, so they put in like a different cover as well. Did they really? Did you go? Did you see it? Mountaintop Motel Massacre. I don't think so, but I heard that they couldn't get the rights to Inseminade, actually. That if you want to get in Inseminade, then you're definitely going to want to get the Indicator one. And I'm sure it'll come out on its own if you want to go buying the other Indicator, buy the box set, because the Indicator does like break up its box sets afterwards. Make your own covers. Neat. I don't have the skill for that. So this is Night Beast. This is a Don Dohler film. If you've never seen a Don Dohler film, actually this is a pretty decent place to start. Massacre Video put out Fiend as well, which is another really good Don Dohler film. Probably, in my opinion, I like Fiend a little bit better than Night Beast. I know, heresy, but this is Don Dohler is like a really, really like micro, low budget filmmaker. Night Beast is probably the closest to like a mainstream like feature length film that he did. Exactly, Jesse. You're the other one. Tell me, you gotta watch Mandy. Night Beast. Uh, but this is, yeah, pretty much the closest that he ever come to doing anything mainstream was Night Beast. And last but definitely not least, it's got Cesar Miro, it's got Henry Silva, it's got Lainie Kazan, Jeffrey Lewis, Tab Hunter, and Divine, who's awesome, and that is Lust in the Dust. Yep, that's the one. Some people expected a different film. I actually like Fiend. It's not better than Night Beast. Like it's more of a raw Doller film. That's Lainie Kazan actually. But if you want like a more like kind of a main, yep, that's Cesar Romero. If you want more of like a mainstream Doller film, then definitely Night Beast. The Laughing Man. I don't know what the Laughing Man is actually. I'm guessing it's one I should know, but I don't have it. The one that inspired the Joker. Or there's a couple. Oh, you mean the Man Who Laughs? Conrad Veidt. I think it's Conrad Veidt. Uh, yeah, actually, I got a Kino set that like it had like different like silent horror films, and it had a great documentary which I should watch again. Actually, it's not. Like, you have, understand, it's not John Waters. And John Waters didn't always like do that. Like in Pink Flamingos, obviously, it's tamer. Like, don't go in expecting a John Waters like film with lust, and that's not what you're gonna get. It's not John Waters. John Waters didn't do it. It's Paul Bartel, who, if the name kind of sounds familiar, he did a movie called Eating Raoul, which was put up by Criterion. Actually, it was pretty famous, and in it, him and Mary Warnov are in the film, and him and Mary Warnov would like cameo in other films together as well. I don't know actually. I'd have to look that up. But it was good to see Tab Hunter getting a lead role. Tab Hunter had a hard time of it in Hollywood. Obviously, he can't. He was back in a time when it wasn't like today, where I guess it's still not like totally like it, but they but he was closeted, and that's tough back in that time. So it stopped him from getting lead roles, and he apparently took the fall for another actor, famous actor, that was rumored to be closeted as well. So that other person, and I think it might have been Rock Hudson, didn't, studio didn't want him to kind of come out. So Tab Hunter was the one that kind of took the fall for that, took the brunt, and so he didn't get the roles that he probably should have gotten. He's really a decent actor, and of course he sings the song "Reproduction" in Grease too. Death Race 2000. You think he's most famous for Death Race 2000? I guess, yeah. I guess for a genre of people, but like I guess for more of, if you're a Main Street type person, you have a good one. I'm hitting the sack really soon. Actually, I'm gonna watch a movie. I'm not gonna lie. But but yeah, like Eating Raoul was like a solid like cult hit, and definitely a fun film if you haven't seen it. A dark film, but a fun film. All right, there you go. Ever notice that when I do Vinegar Syndrome, my videos tend to be longer? Uh, so I I kept my promise. I came in here, I did my second part to the Vinegar Syndrome one, and hopefully this is a cool epic one. The Vinegar Syndrome ones are really kind of follow up to my 31 Days of Horror. and I wanted to do something kind of cool and something to kind of keep you know keep it going, and say like just because 31 Days of Live Horror is over, it doesn't mean we're not going to have fun. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's less than 4 weeks away. We'll be having more talk about Vinegar Syndrome. We'll be talking about Criterion later on this week, and we'll be looking at some other companies as well. And as some stuff comes out, we'll talk about that. Obviously, I won't be able to do like a daily one like I did with the 31 Days of Horror, but I will be trying to do as much as I possibly can, because content is key, and you guys are awesome to hang with. Anyway, oh yeah, that's right. Shameless sale is still going on right now, and of course you can still pick up those Bruno Mattei films, 5 for $25 on Severin. I may have an unboxing coming up. Actually, I should in a while because actually, yeah, I have a couple things coming from you guys actually. Well, thank you for the ones that do, because I'm very excited. So I won't say what they are, but I will shout you out when I do the video unboxing videos that that those came from. Anyway, I'm tired, but I still need to watch a movie. I just have to. I am Aaron. This is the Movie Library. You guys are the movie club. As always, you guys rock. The best movie made by Bruno Mattei. Maybe I'll answer that one tomorrow. But if you're waiting for if you're those five, it's not one of those five in the set. Those are fun films. But Rats is pretty good actually. I put Rats pretty high on Bruno Mattei's list. Other Hell, it's been a while since I've seen it, Jesse. So I wouldn't be able to. I really wouldn't legitimately be able to say that one. So yeah, if you want to get those movies before like Severin loses the rights to them, because I don't think anybody's going to come and just grab the Bruno Mattei rights anytime in the near future. Definitely check him out. Yeah, you're pooped. Me too. Have a great night there, and I will see you soon here next time in the movie club. You guys rock it, and I'm needing tea. I'm severely needing tea. Have a good night.